Richard TV is a content creator in the Japan space that does some interesting, controversial, really funny commentary on life in Japan for Black people. I love it. It's my guilty pleasure content. But recently, he started doing tours for visitors here in Japan, and he turned it into like a reality show type thing. It just started, but it's a really, really interesting concept. I saw one episode that he did, and a viewer asked me to review some of the clips that were posted on Instagram. It's interesting stuff, and I'm going to give a quick review and breakdown of something kind of wild that happened on one of these tours. I've seen it happen before in Japan. I don't have all the details. We'll go through it together, and I'll give you my analysis as always. Let's get into it. So, as I mentioned in the intro, this is a tour that he does for visitors to Japan, and he does a few days of a lot of different events and stuff like that. And apparently, what happened is one night they were out, a lot of stuff happened. I'm not going to really spoil it for you too much, and we'll take a look at it, and I'll give you my take on what I see is going on. Let me know with a like and a comment what you guys think of the situation. Again, it's a really short video, so it's not going to be too much to go on. It's going to be more based on my analysis, but I think it's a lot to go into.
Last year, I hosted a group trip for 12 strangers in Japan. Lots of chaos. One of my travelers, Ike-san, American man, cool, mustache, We went out to like bar, restaurant, midnight. Then we met this Japanese girl there. She leave her friend and her boyfriend to come and talk with us. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. After 1 hour even, she's still flirting with Ike. Then boyfriend comes downstairs. Why are you still here? Talking to sexy American man, not me. This is my girlfriend, ne? He tried to give her like a big kiss. Like he tried to mark territory, And now he tried to pull. He said, come on, let's go. We go home now. She said, no, I want to stay with Ike. You go home.
Yeah, I love his comedy style, right? But I've seen this situation kind of happen before, and you can kind of imagine what it is. Like, this type of stuff I've seen happen, and it turns into like a Japan vacation romance for people. I've seen it happen like a couple times. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen like I think once, definitely once, and maybe one or two more times off the top of my head, but or heard about it. But I mean, basically, like what he described, generally speaking, I preview. If you take a look, we'll look at more of like the girl and stuff like that. Sometimes, yeah, like a Japanese girl will be with her boyfriend, and sometimes it can happen when she's drunk. It doesn't seem, maybe they were out drinking. She was with her boyfriend, maybe a guy she was with, and she saw a foreign guy who was more her type. A little bit funkier, a little exotic, exotical foreign thing for her, and she jumped on the opportunity. Like, those type of relationships, I'll just spoil it for you, are really superficial, and I think they're really innocent. There's nothing really wrong with them. Of course, it sucks for the Japanese guy, right? Because he's out in the cold. You can kind of see where this is going, but yeah, she wants to be with a more exotic guy, just because like he's got tattoos, he's got a funky mustache, he's really different than what she's used to seeing, and it matches with her sensibilities. I think I've talked about it again. I'll talk about it in my book quite a bit, which is going to be delayed a little bit, but it's still coming out. Don't worry. Your outward. This is one of the reasons why your outward appearance in Japan is really, really important. Especially when you're out and about, really looking for someone, because if what you're putting out matches with what she kind of wants to be put in, I guess, is gonna be an instant kind of connection. And especially in your 20s and stuff like that, or when you're younger, or when there's drinking involved, like Japanese women, especially younger ones, like will tend to pounce on that type of situation. And as a quick piece of advice, which from it seems like the guy, he's not like trying to be like all player pimp type stuff. It is kind of better to be more conservative and respectful in this situation, even if you about thinking you want to try and get the draws, or be Mr. like I'll take your girl or something like that. Like, don't be cocky about it, because it's not a good look for you, for the people maybe you're around, for anyone in the vicinity, just for you, even like at the end of the day, because you never know, like what could happen is you could be like, yo, I'm the man, whatever, you want this, and she snaps back to reality because she might realize she's embarrassing herself in front of other Japanese people, or she might get that responsibility obligation switch might come into her mind or something like it. A lot of things can kind of happen. I've seen that happen as well, like out in the nightclub where a dude's really overplaying his hand, and then suddenly the girl he's been really like macking on, he's really putting it down like Western style, like, yo, I got this in the bag. And then something happens and she kind of switches and like, okay, I gotta get out of here, and she just bounces and he's like all pissed off at the end of the night. So it's always better, like I tell you guys, be respectful, keep it toned down, and your chances rise exponentially because that respect element matched with your exotical foreign nature bodes well in your favor in this type of situation. But let's see what else is going on here.
I look at boyfriend, I say, I sorry. I see the pain in his eyes, ne? 2 o'clock in the morning. Said, okay, bye bye, I go. Now boyfriend is gone. I say, oh, this is really healthy relationship. Let's take a walk, ne? And we went to convenience store. See, look, as you can see, they have a nice moment here. It's like romantic, ne? It's like movie, American man meets Japanese woman. So romantic. So I talk to Ike. I say, Ike, you wanna do threesome or something? He say, maybe no. I say, Ike, share with your brother, みたいな. I wanna be like you, Ike-san.
Yeah, that's part one of it. Again, there's a lot of intangibles here that we don't know. We don't know her English ability. We don't know, if she's dated foreign people before. But just looking at her atmosphere, I'm gonna guess, her clothes. I'm gonna guess she's just like a funky, not skater chick, but if is an image skater type vibe chick, who is into, like, I don't know, Billie Eilish or something like that, and and probably maybe can't speak English or can't speak English that well, went abroad maybe a little bit, wants to go abroad, interested in like New York or wherever she wants to go, I don't know, and he matches that vibe, and he matches the fantasy of what she would like to experience. Now, in these type of situations, Richard is kind of funny. Like, of course, he wants to bang too, but but generally, I think for that type of like fantasy romance vacation, that's a perfect match. He's not like just trying to go to Pound Town and immediately. He has some kind of, he likes her, because she seems like a outgoing, funky kind of girl, which kind of matches his sensibility. Maybe she's a bit more conservative in that funky realm than what he's used to. And so they're both, he's more than she's used to, she's more turned down than he's used to, and so they kind of mesh together. That happens too. It's all good. Like, again, I think like those type of relationships, again, because she's with a guy, like, I know some people in the contents might be like, yo, that's messed up because of the dude, whatever, but she probably wasn't even into him that much anyway. Or, relationships here, especially before marriage, are very fluid. I'd say like that's totally fair game in this situation. Like, again, like, let's do the calculations. Let's imagine she's 24. I'd still put in the minus age calculator on that situation just because she's a funky kind of chick. So let's subtract, maybe I'd say about 4 or 5 years from it, even if she's 24. Put her at around like a 20-year-old girl, like in the States. She's like a college girl who's got a boyfriend, drunk at the bar, meets another guy she wants even more, and just ditches her boyfriend to try and hook up with some other guy. It's really that kind of simple situation. So I wouldn't really think too deeply into it. She probably wasn't like, super into the other guy anyway. And the alcohol just got her looser. She saw her opportunity and she went for it. That's about it.